Well, I'm back on the farm today, and I want to tinker with this Hesston 1110 and the Farmall 350 and see if I can get this combo to work. And I'd like to cut a field over next to my barn, and this will be the second video. I don't know if there's going to be 2 or 3 or however many, but in any event, I need to work on the hydraulic hose a little bit and see what I got in the way of remotes over here. I'm not sure that you know, as bad as this hose is, I'm gonna try to clean this thing up and see if I can use it, but even then I'm not sure it'll fit into this remote. I really don't know a lot about Pioneer remotes and International, but John Deere's had their own remotes, that kind of thing. I really don't know a whole lot about all that stuff, but I'm going to just kind of size up what I got and see. So I'll come back. Well, I got this thing cleaned up as best I can, and the ball is moving, so that's a good thing. And then I got these remotes back here cleaned up. This one I can get to move. This one I can't get to move, which I think is because that hose looks like it's bound up tight against that battery housing. So I might have to move that, get a wrench down in there and move this bracket over. But the bottom line is I only need one side of the remote. So I'm going to try it on this one and see what happens. I actually got it in there. I can't believe it. So the next thing I need to do is fire up the Farmall here, and this thing is held up and held in storage position. There's a pin right here you pull out, and then you stow it right here, but you got to lift the thing up, pull the pin out, and then let it down. So let me just see if I can do that. I'll come back. I left this thing out in the rain, and that seat cushion's gonna soak my backside, but that's okay. It's worth it for the cause. Let me get up there and see if I can get this thing started. So I got the thing to raise, and I'm going to try to pull that thing out, but I'm not sure it's going to lower. I think I got to change the setting on my remote so that it will float. But let me come back. Yeah, it'll lift it up no problem, but it won't let it back down. So let me see if I can figure that out. I'll come back. So I got a manual here, an operator's manual. Let me get over here in the shade a little bit. And I also have a manual on my tablet. This is going to be the manual that gets really dirty with this Farmall. But in it, there's a section on setting these remotes, the Hydra Touch system, and it says there's some bushings, that's what they call them, counterclockwise to provide double action, or to the right clockwise to provide single action cylinders. And these I'll show you where these things are. So this is what these things are, and it takes a 9/16 wrench. You just put it on there and you turn it one way or the other. So I almost hesitate to mess with it. Actually, you would think that even with the tractor turned off, if I push this lever down, it ought to let hydraulic fluid go back, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So let me start the tractor and see if that makes any difference. Okay, I made a discovery, and this one I assumed was for the hydraulics on that side, but apparently not the case for the hydraulics on this side. So I changed this one, and lo and behold, it goes down. And up. So I'll tinker with it some more and come back. Alright, so here's where I'm at on getting the hydraulics to work on this Farmall. I've got this thing set. When I have it, I've got it set in two-way, which it'll raise and lower with just one hose going in to the hydraulics. And if I lower it, there's a detent. I don't know if that is a float when it gets there, but the bottom line is I can raise and lower it. Now if this were my John Deere or my Massey Ferguson 1105, once I reach that detent, the hydraulics are in float. But what I don't want to do is to push this thing all the way down and leave it in that float position like that, because right now it sounds like the tractor's working when I'm doing that. So I'm hoping it's not trying to push the cylinder even further down than it can physically go. And so I'm not sure what's going on there. In the one-way position, when I've got this thing turned in that orientation, it'll lift, but it won't lower. And so I don't know why. I don't really know why that would be. And so I got a little bit of due diligence to do here, but I'm kind of perplexed a little bit. But what I do know is that I can raise and lower the Hesston. But I feel like once it gets on the ground, I want it to float. I want that head to float and not be locked down rigid, so it can follow the ground contours. And it does that, and I can do it on my John Deere and my Massey 1105. So I'm going to leave it right here and ponder this a little more, and then the next time we come back to this, hopefully I'll have that sorted out in my head, and we can put this thing in working position and see how the PTO works on it. Hopefully the clutches on the independent PTO are still pretty robust, and they won't slip, and this thing will cut some hay. So I'd like to try it on this tractor and on the hay that I got over there around the barn. So kind of wrap this video up. Appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and we'll talk to you later.